Hi everybody, it's Music on Fire 10. Happy summer to everyone. I'm here today with a little book review. This book is called Tresses, The Ultimate Guide to Maintaining and Styling Natural Hair, and it's by Diane Costa with Paula T. Renfro. So I read this book, I really enjoyed it, and I would suggest it to any naturals out there. If you're just becoming natural, if you're thinking about going natural, if you've been natural a long time, short time, and just anyone of color, to be honest, because she does talk a little bit about relaxing your hair and perming and things like that too. She's pretty knowledgeable. So I wanted to share with you guys some quotes that stood out for me that I thought, would get some discussion going, but we'll see. So the first one came up with was that the primary cause of dry hair is the buildup of saturated fat in our bodies, which effectively blocks nutrients and moisture from reaching the hair shaft. Oily hair can be caused by the excessive consumption of saturated fats and is a precursor to dry hair. Saturated fats are dislodged through the hair shaft, leaving the ends dry and brittle and roots oily. So that ties in many things. First of all, it ties in the idea of diet, which is pretty important to me. I'm a vegetarian, obviously a natural. I'm going into naturopathy, and I love, love, love food. And the issue with saturated fats is one that's been ongoing in our community for a while, as well as the issue with our hair. So it's kind of like a duh moment, I guess, as you could say, because it's like there are things that happen in our community dealing with our diet and our hair, and they actually interrelate. Who knew? You know what I mean? So I think just the fact that she says that is just kind of like an eye-opener, because I know obviously the saturated fats are harmful to one. They clog your arteries and different things like that. Obesity is not a joke. It really is an epidemic. But in addition to that, if you're a person who does eat saturated fats and might not be obese necessarily, you are contributing to the fact that your hair may not be growing as much and it's overly dry because of your diet. And we often wonder why our hair is so dry, not just the fact that it's very curly or very kinky, nappy, however you want to call it, and that the sebum from our scalp is not able to reach the ends. Our diets contribute to that as well. And I love the fact that she puts that in here so boldly, because it's true and it needs to be said. So glad she put that in there, and I'm glad I read it. And on page 24, that was page 18. She talks about dandruff, which I know I've spoken about before, is an issue with me. And she said, actually a person named Dr. Simmons is someone that she consulted about this. This person says, many women of color have been taught to apply oils and grease to the scalp to control dandruff. This tends to plaster the flakes down and make the condition worse. The type of yeast found in seborrheic dermatitis is an organism normally found on the skin surface. We don't know its function. All we can do is try to control it. So what this person is talking about is the fact that we as black women, or women of color, usually use some type of grease on our scalps thinking that we're helping the situation with dandruff when in fact we may be hurting it. So that's also something to think about. And also, just look into what you are putting in your scalp, because if it is something that is an astringent, astringents actually make your skin drier. So I believe that would contribute to dandruff as well. So that's why I stopped using witch hazel on my scalp, because I know it's an astringent. So you have to look into different things like that, and make sure you're not allergic to products that you're putting on your scalp as well. And if you're able to, try and cut out putting things on directly on your scalp for a while and see what happens. It's always trial and error. I don't think anything horrible would happen if you stop for maybe about a week or so to see, is my scalp actually cleaner, or is there less dandruff after I stop putting whatever it is that I usually put on my scalp. Because the sebum in your scalp is, as far as I know, the best thing for your hair. And they're saying that putting greases and oils, things that are not made within your body, things that are synthetic on your scalp, could be causing the dandruff to worsen. And you never know, you could be allergic to what you're putting in your scalp as well. You may not know it, but that may be causing more dandruff as well. So those are two things that were in the book that really stood out for me. But she talks about a lot of wonderful things. She talks about weave and extensions, which I've never used before, but I read it anyway, just in case someone wanted my advice on it. She also talks about color, using different colors in your hair and changing them for the seasons, and being as healthy as possible with things like that, which I'm not really down with coloring my hair either, but it's always good to read and get someone else's expert opinion on it because she's a hairstylist. One thing that she talks about that I'm also not down with is going to a stylist. I just got out of college, so I'm not planning to spend any money on getting someone else to do my hair. For one, I'm very tender-headed. And for another thing, I really like doing my hair myself. It's become something very therapeutic to me, something that I just enjoy doing. But she talks about there are things that stylists can do that the common person is not able to do simply because the stylist went to school for it, which is true, and I do agree with her on that. However, I guess I just won't be doing those things to my hair because I really don't trust anybody else with my hair. But like I said, putting that aside, she is a wonderful writer, wonderful hairstylist, seemingly a wonderful person, and I would suggest this book, Textured Tresses by Diane Costa. And yeah, I would suggest you all look it up. Get to doing some research about hair. Summer is a wonderful time to do things like that. That's when I do it. So I know. See you all later. I'll be back with more book reviews very soon. Fiction, non-fiction. I have another hair book that I got today. So we'll see. See you guys later.